Three, two, one. All right. So, who do we have here?
My name's Zach. I'm from London. I'm 22 years old and I'm currently in Cali in Colombia.
Perfect. So, what brought you out to Colombia?
I've been traveling South America for about 5 months now. I started in Argentina and I went through Brazil, Chile, Bolivia, Peru, and Colombia is just the next step on the trip. And that's what brought me to Colombia.
Heck yeah. Any culture shocks from living in England to now being in Latin America for 5, 6 months?
Well, the language is obviously a big one. I think as well, I'd say the people are definitely a lot more like expressive, and they like to show their appreciation for things, and I think they're just very expressive, but definitely a lot more in England where we can be quite reserved in our reactions to things.
Nice, nice. Any good memories, bad memories, anything that just points out to you when you return from this trip to England, something that will just come straight to your mind when someone asks, how was Latin America?
I think that question is too difficult. I genuinely think I've had too many unbelievable experiences to think of one specific thing. I've been to the Amazon, I've been to the Atacama Desert, I've seen the Uyuni salt flats, I've seen Christ the Redeemer, I've seen wonders of the world. I couldn't pick down one specific thing that I would tell people is the best. I think that's too difficult.
Hey, good answer, good answer. Now, anything that you would have changed on your trip? Any regrets?
Um, I tend to not like to feel like I have regrets. I like to view like any mistakes I've made as like a lesson that I can learn from. So I wouldn't necessarily say I have many regrets per such. I would probably have wished. Mm, I actually don't think there's anything I would rather wish I did. I think I've done everything pretty well. Maybe I could have planned things a bit better, but I also think that kind of being unplanned and just rocking up to places can be the best way of traveling is when you're kind of unplanned and you just work things out on your way.
Yeah, good answer, good answer. Out of all the countries, cities, what was the worst and what was the best?
Um, my favorite city undoubtedly is Buenos Aires. I don't think I've been to a cooler city on my trip so far. There's definitely others that come close, but Buenos Aires, I think I had everything for me. It was really beautiful architecture. People were really friendly, and there was lots of things to do. In terms of the worst place, again, I wouldn't like to disregard a place, especially when you're only staying there for a couple of days. But to be honest, nothing really comes to my mind when I'm thinking worst place. There were places where there were not a lot of things to do, but they were in a beautiful location, such as Copacabana in Bolivia. But I could never say that was a bad place to go. No, I genuinely can't think of a bad place.
All right, good answer, good answer. During your travels in Latin America, I've heard that Latin food in Europe is not the best. So, which Latin food in Latin America that you traveled to just blew your mind?
I've only been in Colombia for about a week, but so far the Colombian food's been pretty amazing. I think the bandeja paisa is something that it's a merger of all the foods in the world that I really enjoy. So that was really enjoyable. I think Argentina has brilliant food, brilliant meat. Bolivia had some really nice food in some local markets. I think Bolivia gets a kind of underrated rep for its food. I'd say those three are the ones that stood out the most, to be honest.
Nice, nice. Just one last thing. Now, if an 18-year-old wants to go travel, but they're just unsure, what would you tell them?
I'd tell them, obviously, to think long and hard about it, because it's a big step, especially for an 18-year-old. But if it's something you want to do, I just tell you to go for it. It's not something that unless you go about it the wrong way, if you do things that you enjoy and you do things the way you want to do them, I don't think there's a way that you can have a bad time. I think, of course, there are some days where you're feeling a bit down and you might miss home a bit, but I think in general, probably 99% of my days out here I've had a brilliant time, and definitely a lot better than being at home in the UK, that's for sure.
Perfect. Good answer, Zach. Thank you.
Thank you very much.